Hi guys, it's Dakota. Today is February 1st. Happy Imbolc to those of you who are celebrating today. If you celebrate on the 2nd, happy Imbolc to you tomorrow. Our friends in the Southern Hemisphere, happy Lanasa. Real quickly, I wanted to thank everyone who has watched the Chakra Spellwork series and who have left comments and sent me little notes, and more importantly, have sent me pictures of their spell work. It's really amazing. I mean, I was like just really honored that you would share that with me and leave the comments that you've left and the little private messages thanking me, and thank you for watching. I appreciate that. If you haven't watched the series and you're interested in aligning your chakras, getting them balanced and all of that, and you don't want to do, you're looking for something different besides meditation or laying stones on the body, visualization, things like that, check out the Chakra Spellwork series. Start with the first one, which is the root chakra. There's 7 different videos, and check them out. So, and for those of you who decided that they weren't going to do the weekly chakras, that they want to do the 7-day, which is typically what I do, I'm looking forward to seeing your pictures too. If you want to share those, be really fun. So I'm upstairs in the devotion room because the heater in the cottage wasn't working properly, so it was too cold for me. So I'm up here. All right, let's get to today's topic, which is lifting of the veil, so to speak. This has absolutely nothing to do with Beltane or Samhain, as in the thinning of the veil, which I know some people do call it the lifting of the veil as well. But I wanted to make it really clear that that has absolutely nothing to do with ancestor work or any kind of spiritual work in that sense. The lifting of the veil. So that was something that when I was, I do daily devotions with my deity. And after devotion, I like to sit. Sometimes we have tea. I read to her. We have some good conversations. And I was talking to her about some shadow work that I've been doing for the last couple years. And it's been hard for me to release it up until about 6 months ago, and that's what I'm going to talk about. But when I was telling her about it, and I was telling her about the situation that happened 6 months ago, when I just had I had like this aha moment, was the moment of clarity. It was the moment of when crown opened and shadow went out and was gone. And I just said, wow, it was just really this moment, this aha moment. And when I say I hear her, I feel her. I feel her words. So it's like she's talking, but like I can hear the words, but it's a feeling. I don't know, can't explain it. But she said, oh, you had a lifting of the veil. And I went, a lifting of the veil? And I went, yeah. It was a lifting to where now I can see clearly. And wow, it was just a really profound moment. I loved it. And it was so that her words, the lifting of the veil, was almost as profound as the moment that I had the aha moment. And that's what I'm going to talk about to you. So what was going on, and it's been going on for the last few years, I think that, and this is going to sound really petty and really whiny, but I think that we've all experienced at some point in our lives, whether it was as a young child or even as an adult, bullying, people talking about you, gossiping about you, you feeling like you personally then are feeling unliked or unappreciated, things that you do for others, and then you find out that they, are talking about you, and, just stuff like that. So that feeling of being unappreciated, maybe even feeling like you are, excluded from things. So it's just that whole thing of just, when nobody likes me and, everybody's talking about me and might as well eat a worm. How does that song go? But it can be very, very painful. It can be very painful, especially when you have given that part of yourself to someone else, whether it is to someone else, singular, or to a group of people, and only to find out that your efforts, your kindness, your truthfulness, your time, your abilities, whatever it is that you gave of yourself was not appreciated, or perhaps it was appreciated, but they don't want anyone else to know that they appreciated it, because it's almost like they have to shine. They have to be the one that they have this little bit, whatever it is that you gave them, they have that, and then maybe they find out that, oh, there's another way, or there's this, or there's that, whatever it is. And it could be out of jealousy, envy, pride. Ego is huge. Ego is huge. Ego is a horrible shadow. It's a horrible shadow. And I've seen and heard about the gossiping and the just talking behind people's backs, talking behind my back, all of those things. It is hurtful. And to think that that's never going to come back to the person is ego. To think, and maybe you want that. Seeing someone hurt by your words and your actions might bring you joy. That feeds your ego. That might make you feel even more shiny. That might make your ego platform even taller. But I can tell you that it's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing to have, and it's not a pretty thing to do. And I really find that negativity like that in a spiritual, to call yourself a spiritual being, to consider yourself a witch, or to consider yourself a healer. Oh my gosh, I can't even go there with that one. It's so disappointing. I can't begin to tell you. But I do know healers, light workers, witches, pagans in general. Let's just use that umbrella term. Pagans, who, blessed be love and light. And the moment they walk, they're out of ear range from you. Did you see this? Did you see what she was wearing? Did you? That's not pretty. It's really not pretty. And, I don't care if you believe in karma, if you believe in the threefold law, which, if you've taken any of my classes, you know that the threefold law for me is not three. The universe has a way of responding to those who inflict pain on others, emotional and physical pain on others, who take from others. And it's not necessarily, and this is just my humble opinion, there's the disclosure of my humble opinion, it's my belief, karma and the law of three threefold law. You know, the universe will decide that. The universe is going to decide what the best plan of consequence for your action. So just because you poked somebody doesn't mean that you're going to get poked, physically poked, 3 times. That isn't what that means. It just means that the universe, this is how I feel, is that the universe will decide the consequence of your actions. So I just want to say that bullying, gossiping, spreading rumors, spreading untruths, talking about people behind their backs, it's really unattractive. And it's truly not spiritual. And it makes you, if you are trying to outshine, and that is where you are getting your power from, getting your glory from, even if you're out there, you know, well, I have this degree and that degree, and I've got all these certificates, and I took this, and I blah, blah, blah. Honestly, no one cares but you. And by doing that, you've just taken another step up on that podium. And here's the thing with podiums. We think we want to be up here. But if your audience is down here, when you're way up here on your little podium, you look even smaller than if you get down at their level. Just saying. So I've been dealing with this personally. And of things being told to me, things that I hear, that petty, whiny, yeah, it is. However, hurtful, yeah, it is. It is. Because you put your trust in someone and then you feel betrayed. That's not a fun thing to feel. So what happened with this aha moment was, and so I've been doing shadow work with this, like just trying to release that, you know, because I have boundaries. I do. I have set boundaries, and there are times when I can just go, whatever. That's your journey. None of my business. That's your journey. Enjoy it, because it's going to come back. I believe that. And even if I stand in that power and say that, and I believe it, doesn't take away the pain. So the only way that I can break that pain up is to do shadow work and go, really, like, let that go, because there's no reason to even say that. When I say that, when I go, whatever, that's shadow. A shadow speaking. Like, that's shadow speaking. I shouldn't even have to say those words. So shadow work. That's part of my shadow work. And by the way, I've had a lot of people ask me if I would do a video on shadow work and how I work with it and what I think it is, and I will do that. This might be leading up to it. I don't know. I didn't really think about it until just right now, this moment. But I've been putting together a few notes because I want to make sure when I do it that it's, you know, it's what I do and what I believe. So anyway, so about 6 months ago, so here I'm working on the shadow work and, you know, doing all this stuff and trying to clear. About 6 months ago, I have someone that I talk to on occasion, and I'm going to say that they are most likely spiritual in their own sense. I don't know. It's none of my business to ask. But I do know that they're very interested in spiritual things, whether it's witchcraft, whether it's pagan, whether it's Norse, whether it is Buddhism, whether it is energy work, chakras, Reiki, the whole gamut. They're interested in that. I think that they're seeker. I think that they are a seeker, and I just don't think that they are quite grounded enough to want to, they're not willing yet to take that sacrifice to sit down and learn and study, which is absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. So we're just carrying on conversation about this and that, all kinds of stuff. You know, we don't always just talk about spiritual stuff at all, because like I said, they're not really. I mean, they are, but anyway. And of course, they were asking about the store and everything, and we were just talking, and then they looked at me and they said, "What's going on with you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Your aura's not lit. And so I just kind of shared some information that I was feeling a little down. You know, I was kind of down in the dumps, that I was just feeling just so sick of, you know, the spiritual community as a whole, or individuals, maybe not as a whole, but individuals of this spiritual community, making claims on their spiritualness and their highness and their degreeness and their thisness and their thatness, and in the same breath poking and bullying and gossiping and rumors and, you know, all of the whiny cry stuff. And how I was letting it get to me and was trying to figure out how I could, you know, I've been doing shadow work trying to release it, and, you know, it's just very hurtful, and, you know, I just don't understand why I'm allowing it, because I have boundaries, yada, 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 all of that stuff. Here comes the aha moment. They looked at me and they said, "That's really, really interesting to hear you talk like this. Let me ask you a question." And I said, "All right." And they said, "Out of all of that, those that you know or you think you know that are doing this, is that someone that you'd be interested in going out and having a cup of coffee with?" And I must have looked at that person, what felt like an eternity was probably seconds. Need to ask them. I never asked them. I felt like I could not break eye contact with them, because at that moment I had a lifting of the veil. My third eye was crystal clear. My crown chakra was like a lotus flower in bloom, wide open. And I felt the weight of that pettiness, that ridiculous, immature, unspiritual, ego-driven, gossipy fools right out, lifted right out. And it was happening as I was looking at her. And again, I don't know how long I was talking, how long I was staring. But then I said, no, I wouldn't sit down and have coffee with them. Not because of the petty BS. Not because that petty BS they think makes them shine, makes them high and mighty. But because I don't even know them. I don't even know them. Like, you know, really, I don't even know them. I mean, I don't know anything about their personal life. I don't know their children. I don't know their pets. I don't know what they do during their day. I don't know anything about them other than maybe a name. I mean, maybe an acquaintance. Or maybe I've only just heard their name through somebody else that said, hey, this person said this about you. And I'm like, well, who's that? Oh, they over here. And I'm like, oh, well, whatever. I don't know them. But that right there, oh, I don't know them. That right there, that's ego. And a shadow. I don't need to react. I don't need to react to that because they're not important to me. They're not important to my business. They're not important to me. And that's their journey. They're not important to my journey. They're not important to my work. I need to just focus on my own work. And that moment, that simple thing, would you want to have coffee with them? And I said no. Had absolutely nothing to do with their pettiness, their gossipy little things that they got going on, or their big ego because, you know, oh yeah, I got whatever. Had nothing to do with that at all. But it had to do with, I don't even know them. So why do I care? Like, really? I mean, and truly, why do I care? So it was a huge relief for me, a huge letting go of that shadow. And I have felt since then a tremendous relief. I feel different inside. Not that it doesn't, not that all of it has disappeared. There are still some. And there are still some that I still have to work on that. What I'm working on now is, because when that happened, what I realized is that I too fall into that category of maybe talking about somebody. And that is at their level. That's at their level. And I don't like it. I don't like it in them, and I don't like it in myself. So I am now incorporating that into my work because it makes me, although I will say, and I am brutally honest, to the point that it's not, I can sugarcoat, I can, and I say brutally honest, doesn't mean like I'll just, you know, man, you look ugly today. Not like that. I just mean I'm not into fakeness. I'm not into fakeness. I try my damnedest not to be into ego, but I know ego is there at times. I know it is. I'm human. It's there. So I just keep working on it. I just keep working on me, and I'm focusing on me and my journey. And because in the end, that I'm going to be sitting across from my judgment, and I will only have to answer for me. I don't have to answer for anybody else in their journey. Universe will take care of that. So I had a lifting of the veil, and it felt wonderful and still feels wonderful. And I understand now that it no matter, it no longer, I mean, it just no longer matters. It no longer matters because I would invite them to do some mirror shadow work and speak those words that you're speaking, whether it's who you are and what you have, or what you don't like about this person and that person. Speak those words while you're looking in the mirror. Tell me how you feel. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. Sorry, it's a little venty and it's a little ranty, but sometimes we have to do that. I wanted to share that with you, though, because honestly, sometimes you never know where you're going to get clarity. And as long as you are aware of what it is that you are trying to do, clarity is going to come at the right time. And when you're ready for it. And obviously I was ready for it because those simple words, would you want to have coffee with them? Would you want to be their friend? No, because they're really not. They're like, no, that's no. Not because of that. Just, I mean, not really. So, you know, and but you never know. There's been people that I haven't liked. Like, I just haven't liked them. You know, you just don't like the person's energy or whatever. And we ended up being friends later. Because you work through it. And you figure out a lot of times it's you. It's you. It's you. It's not the other person. It's not the other person. So, get a mirror. Look in it. See what you have to say to yourself. Anyway, guys, that's it. I wanted to just share that with you today. And hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Bye.